I could be really happy in the country. Really happy.
Konstantin Gavrilovich wasn't. He shot himself.
Oh, that's just Chekhov. Everyone shoots themselves in Chekhov.
And they all live in the country.
Yes, I could be really happy here. I could put my neuroses out to grass, hang up my worry beads forever. If this was my cottage, down in the village, they'd call me Philip Sea of Tranquility, Roth. I wouldn't even mind going bald if I lived in the country. I don't think. Oh, it's like an overdose of nirvana. There's not a trace of Valium in that air. They should have a sign when you come off the motorway, no more stress for 50 miles. Do you know, it's no wonder Francis of Assisi ended up a saint. I mean, you can't go wrong. Up to your eyeballs in birds and animals and fields and things. I mean, if he'd had to work in an office in the city like me, he'd have ended up just plain old Frank Assisi, Esquire.
He was Italian.
Have you seen the churchyard? Well, now, I mean, even being dead is more pleasant in the country. Cemeteries stuffed full of yew trees. Yards and yards of the old-fashioned non-plastic daffodils. Squirrels cracking nuts on the gravestones. I mean, it's lovely. And I could really grow old with enthusiasm living here.
You've got a garden at home. You never go in it. You never do anything to it. The only interest you've ever shown for it was when you asked if one could use napalm to keep down undergrowth.
Well, now, be fair, it's minute. It's suburban. I mean, you can hardly get the call of the wild in a window box with delusions of grandeur. I mean, apart from the odd man-eating spider. I mean, in my garden, even the
nettles get claustrophobia, you said.
Yeah, but I mean this is the real McCoy. Your wide open spaces, your born free bit. I mean, my garden, that's like Mother Nature with corsets on.
What? And we're in the heart of the G-string country here, are we?
Well, at least it's a week away from lead poisoning. At least here you don't get mugged twice daily after meals. And the only sex and violence round here is the flowers being forcibly pollinated. Or their idea of a traffic jam is probably a tractor stuck in a cowpat.
There's something you don't like about urban living?
Well, the reason I keep getting nervous exhaustion is scarcely through an excess of Morris dancing. And since I have been ordered to take a rest, it seems to me that a few lowing herds winding slowly or the odd lee should leave me with a few dollops of inner calm.
I'm not disagreeing.
I mean, a nice thatched cottage, that is just what the psychiatrist ordered.
Yes, but this thatched cottage is your butcher's, and you said he was a nervous wreck. It's a pity one can't get nature on the national health. According to your theory, if you could just have a nurse give you a couple of trees in a field intravenously each week, you'd be as right as rain. I suppose when we go home back to the big bad city, you could take a picture of a cow with you to ward off evil spirits like traffic wardens.
Yes, but it is lovely here, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is. Paradisial. All right.
I think I'll go and explore the village.
Just the £1 of tomatoes this week, Mrs. Kingsley?
Oh, yeah, we're off for a few days.
Oh, business or pleasure?
Oh, just plain relief. An overpowering urge to go somewhere with slightly more social activities than shove halfpenny for the over-80s.
Oh, I know what you mean. Villages. The only exciting thing that's happened to me all year was when I fell downstairs and broke my leg. And a small tuna fish. You got anywhere planned?
Oh, yeah. A special treat for the children and an old favourite of mine, Birmingham. My sister's.
Birmingham! They do say the television reception there is marvellous.
No, make that a large. Well, there's something for all the family. My husband gets to drive round Spaghetti Junction on the motorway. And the youngest boy keeps saying he wants to see a vandalised phone box. And as for me, I'm...
Sorry. Milk chocolate digestives?
Yeah.
Huh. wish I was going. Stuck here, I get so as I envy people with high blood pressure. Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was just going to say, and my sister's promised to take me to a Tupperware party.
Lovely. Mind you, should have heard Mrs. Johnson's idea. She reckons we should all bottle fruit, organise a bring and buy sale, and use the proceeds for a wife-swapping party.
I wouldn't mind paying for that and the rates. Can't see it happening here, mind you. Since the last century, even fertility rights have moved to the suburbs.
Yeah. Is that all then?
Yeah.
Mind you, I think we should all be paid compensation for living in the country. It ought to be like being a one-parent family or having a leg missing.
Yeah, and where the application form says cause of suffering, you'd put excessive peace and quiet and too much grass.
Right, there we are then.
Put that on my slate, will you? I'll set up when I get back, if that's all right.
Yes, of course. Now enjoy yourself and send me a postcard of something exciting, like a traffic jam. Right, sir. And what can I get for you this morning?
Half a pound of farmhouse butter, please, the wholemeal loaf, and some local honey. And a bottle of antidepressants.
Yes, you're right. A week of this place and Job himself would cheer up. And even stop worrying about his boils.
No, you might worry about them on his behalf. Sorry, I speak of wrath of time past.
And, well, what have you been doing?
How was your exploring?
Oh, it's fine. Fine.
What was the village like then? Parley with any natives?
Yes, had a brief chat. About the scandalous shortage of glue-sniffing facilities in rural areas, you know. Things like that.
What?
Discussed the village's amendment to the UN Charter, that it is the basic right of every human being to be entitled to a disco.
What are you on about?
Oh, nothing. Nothing, no, it doesn't matter. Come on, what about you? What have you been up to?
Just reading, relaxing, that's all.
Nothing interesting happened.
Well, there've been one or two bees. and a flower opened over there in the corner. This is a pastoral idyll, remember, for the relaxing in of, for the doing of nothing in.
Yes, no, I just thought, you know, something might have happened.
We've been here barely an hour. Why does something have to have happened? We're not appearing in the arches.
True. Yes, I think I'll go and explore down the other end of the village.
Oh, sit still. Pretend you're a sunflower.
No, I think I'll go and soak up some more village atmosphere, you know, enjoy it while I can. Good morning.
I do.
It's a lovely day.
Oh, yeah.
It's very quiet. Not many people about.
Not during the week, no. Don't see many people during the week, mind.
Oh, what happens then at weekends?
Bastards with second homes comes down weekend.
You get a lot of that, do you?
Second homes, second cars, second wives. They seen the countryside on television, in Ovis ads. They think green looks a nice colour. Never seen nowhere with no parking meters before. So bam!
Bam?
In they come like Mongol lords with mortgages. If it don't move, buy it. Old villagers never die. They just get gazumped.
Yes, I can imagine.
You put a for sale sign on the bus shelter, you get 50,000 for it. from some half-witted newcomer.
And a council grant to install a bathroom and toilet.
Toilet? Oh, indoor toilets too 20th century for them. Not genuine Elysian. I mean, if it's rural, it has to be rough. That's the charm of country folk, don't you know? They all crap in the nettles.
While whistling Nellie Dean.
Rough and cute. And all of them making earthenware pots. They come down here, townies. They walk up and down the village like they're on a hunt-the-yokel competition. Hem bob to lean against the stile and look bucolic. And all the straw you can suck.
Shocking.
Where do you live, then?
Oh, just staying over at Honeysuckle Cottage.
16 houses in this village now, all called Honeysuckle Cottage. School gone, post office going, bus by appointment only. If you want to die, you have to do it the next village. Rural, bleeding England. If Constable were alive today, he'd be painting still life.
It definitely does seem disturbingly quiet.
Quiet. Living here's like a dry run for the afterlife. Second homeowners have wiped out more villages than the Black Death. In 20 years' time, going to a village would be like visiting a safari park. People like me will be the last word in endangered species. I'll be on TV documentaries like Disappearing World. Thanks to all these bastard country lovers.
Yes, but you're not single-handedly responsible for the depopulation of all of rural England.
Well, no, I suppose not.
I mean, you've only been here 3 hours. Societies have to spend a whole day with you before they go into decline.
But I mean, it's like the Mary Celeste out there. I mean, even the hedgerows have disappeared. And it's all the fault of the sort of people who drive white sports cars, apparently. I went in that church. You know that nice church? God sold it. He had a better offer. The only thing happening in the house of the Lord is that some advertising executive and his second mistress are ripping out all the pews and putting in strip pine bunk beds.
In Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, people sit contentedly in gardens and smile a lot at each other and potter about and look at butterflies and are very happy. Why don't you try it? Relax. Read a book or something.
Read a book? A chance would be a fine thing. The travelling library was scrapped 18 months ago. Gone to join the great fine collector in the sky.
How about the ducking stool in the pond? Is that still serviceable?
Somehow you accept, that maybe about once a week some village in the Amazon will be accidentally eliminated by Western civilization, catching our everyday ailments like the common cold or venereal disease or... But when it's here, struck down by holiday homes, in England's green and pleasant...
I should have brought some biographies of great Welsh arsonists with us to keep you happy. Is this all part of your class guilt bit again? Forgive me, O Lord, for I am socio-economic group A1.
Well, yes, in a way. But then, being middle class is the 20th century version of original sin. Imagine, if Adam had been middle class. Now, he wouldn't have messed around with serpents and apples. Oh, no. He'd have had the Garden of Eden rezoned for building development a bit sharpish. And stuffed his fig leaf full of the resultant shekels. And let the creation wait till later.
And if Eve had been middle class, she'd have gone private and had an abortion? Philip, responsible for many things you may be, but the fall of man is not one of them.
No, not directly, but then no man is an island, or, as in this case, very few men are a village, and I do think...
Okay. So what we have here is an end of village life as we know it situation. The invasion of the house snatchers, Certificate X, the dreaded clones of the bourgeoisie are on the march again. Well, I'm as sorry as you are. I've read the same Guardian editorials. I, too, would like to be up to my knees in blacksmiths. But it is not my fault. It is not your fault. And we are on holiday.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just was getting depressed. Holidays always do this to me. You see, I only like to go to unspoilt places, but I always think by my going to them, I spoil them, right? I mean, it only takes me to walk past some remote Highland croft. An hour later, there'll be neon signs outside. Coach parties welcome. Strip show on Sundays.
Look, didn't your butcher say something about knowing a farmer round here? A real one? You know, 3 generations of manure in his blood, dropped out the womb with size 12 wellies on.
Mr. Jellop, yes.
Well, why don't you go and see him? Ask if you can play at farmers.
Yes.
You know, muck out a few pigs, breastfeed a few lambs. Speak to Mother Nature on the hotline.
Yes. Yes, I think I might. I think cows and sheep might be my sort of people.
Hello, that was quick. What was the farm like?
Modern. Very modern. The only free-range animal up there was his wife. That farmyard has got more heavy plant and machinery than the British Steel Corporation. And the land is so intensively cultivated that if he'd spotted the dirt in my fingernails, I'd have been crop dusted.
So we've gone off villages and farms now, have we?
Farms? There's not a thing on that place that was in my I Spy book as a kid. Not even a dead butterfly.
Life and all its concomitant manifold wonders is a right old letdown for you, isn't it? If you discovered Shangri-La itself, you're the only person I know who'd want to have it redesigned.
Farmers used to worry about foxes and how randy their bulls were. Do you know what gives him sleepless nights? Acid rain.
Acid rain? What's acid rain?
It's wet and sizzles and falls out of clouds. Country clouds.
Well, that should get rid of the weeds. Why country clouds?
You know those great factory chimneys they have in towns, pumping the yuckies of life up, up and away? Well, they have just discovered that this is where it all lands. Apparently, we are sitting in a giant waste disposal unit here.
Don't tell me. You're getting homesick for lead pollution and muggers.
Apparently, because of this acid rain, all the lakes in Sweden are now dead. All the forests in Germany are now dying. And soon all the fish in Scotland will turn litmus paper red. I mean, no wonder our butcher has tender beef. The cattle spend all their lives marinating in acid.
Are you serious about all this?
I certainly am. Yes, according to Jellop, this acid rain is the only thing that makes radioactive fallout look like the good news.
Well, that must have been nice for you, meeting a rural manic depressive. Like finding a long-lost cousin. What have you been doing, exchanging pet theories about the end of the world?
No.
Not told him your hunch about killer spiders, then?
Ha ha. Apparently the scientists aren't amused. In fact, they're probably buying second homes in the Sahara at this very moment. Jellop says they reckon that this is how human life, such as it is, may one day end.
What, not so much with a bang as a downpour? So, if the Messiah does eventually come, he'll have to bring an umbrella with him.
We are talking about the end of civilization.
Sorry. How long have we got? Can I finish my book?
I mean, I am the first to admit that the countryside is not a pastoral idyll these days. I mean, I know that the average cow contains more chemicals than Crippen ever dreamt of. I know that the job centres are full of unwanted nymphs and shepherds. I realise that wildlife is so rare that the zoos will now soon be putting on exhibitions of household pets. But I did think that the one thing you could rely on in this country of all countries was the rain. I mean, you don't expect to go for a walk and come back with your head looking like a colander. I mean, you do assume that if it is going to piss down, it will do it to British safety standards.
I should have rung the AA. Got you a list of favourite pollution tours for the motorist. Asked for their fully illustrated Doom Watch guides to the countryside.
I mean, I accept there's got to be change in the countryside. You know, I mean, replacing all the grass with concrete or putting arsenic in the tea of farm labourers. But acid rain, I mean, do you know that in Poland this rain is already eating through steel railway lines?
Look, let's go right up on the moors. Forget about everything and everybody. Let the wind blow through what's left of your hair and pretend that you're Wordsworth on a recce for a poem.
Yes. Yes, you're right. Yes, I was getting bogged down. Do you know that in America, this rain is already stronger?
Philip, I said you're going to get away from it all. Come along. Time to take a walk on the wild side, where the wild thyme still blows. Well, how was I to know?
That is all I needed. I mean, in London, all you do is read about World War III. Out here, they're practicing for it. I mean, how low were those planes?
About a foot, 18 inches.
I know what Wordsworth would have said. I wandered lonely as a Vulcan bomber. Did you see that sheep have a cardiac arrest?
No, I still had my head up your shirt then.
I mean, it is ridiculous. All this concern about rules of the countryside. Don't drop litter. Don't shut the gate. Not a dicky bird about do not carry nuclear missiles on your person at twice the speed of sound.
I don't think they carry live missiles.
Pity no one told the sheep. I mean, national parks used to be for kindly people with hairy knees who were kinky about wildflowers. Now it's full of the Ministry of Defence version of Hell's Angels. At least in my garden, all you get is the odd psychopathic wasp. You told me so.
I told you so. You see, you don't so much get away from it all as drag it all along with you.
You haven't finished with your Chekhov, have you?
Yes, why?
No, I just wondered what size of bullet he recommends for depression.